Eclipse are sky high, owners cashing in on people catching the rare event. And some Ann Wallace Allen at 7 Days are kicking homeless Vermonters out to make room for those high-paying guests.
That's right. So 70 of the hotels and motels in Vermont are occupied by people who don't have anywhere else to live and are living there under a state program that pays $84 a night. That's been going on for a couple of years since the pandemic started. Well, what's happened is the eclipse has caused a surge of interest in lodging in Vermont. So suddenly hotels are getting hundreds of dollars for their hotel rooms. There's hardly an Airbnb or a motel bed to be found anywhere in the path of totality in northern Vermont. So the owners of two establishments, the Days Inn in Colchester and the Anchorage Inn in South Burlington, have decided to ask their state-sponsored guests to leave so that they can charge higher rates for last-minute eclipse guests.
Can they do this? Doesn't the state have contracts with these hotels to accommodate Vermont's homeless population?
The state has month-to-month contracts. So I talked to Miranda Gray at the Department of Children and Families about this, and she said, yeah, they have a perfect right to ask people to leave during this time. They're still private businesses, and the contracts don't, prohibit the hotels or motels from asking people to leave on the days around the eclipse.
So where do these people go then?
There's a variety of answers to that. I have been talking to people about where they're going to go, and a lot of them say they don't really know yet. They have family they can stay with very briefly, although they can't live with them full time. So if you are going to do that, if you are staying with friends, but like I talked to a young woman at the Days Inn who has her job is right down the road from the hotel. She's an assistant manager at a gas station, so she can't stay with her family because they're in the Newport area, and that's more than an hour away from her job. So she's not really sure what she's going to do for those few days. And also, she mentioned that the managers have asked everyone to take all their stuff with them too. And for people who've been living there for many months, they have a lot of stuff, and they don't really have any way of taking it or any place to store it. So it's causing a lot of concern for people who've been living in those motels.
So as you said, Vermont paying upwards of $80 a night for these rooms. How much will the Days Inn or the Anchorage get instead?
Well, I heard different answers to that question, and I actually called and tried to see if I could reserve a room during the eclipse at the Days Inn, and the woman told me that they were sold out, but she suggested I go to this, I called the Snowflake Inn in Stowe. She said they were the only place that she had a record of a room being available, and the room was about $860. We've all heard stories of motel rooms going for more than $1,000 in Burlington during this 2-day period in what is usually one of the slowest phases of the year for Vermont tourism. So motel owners can make a lot of money out of this eclipse, and a lot of them are.
Your story's out in 7 days. Ann Wallace Allen, thank you. Be well.